So let's talk about this OKKO series. So OKKO, the creator came out and you could tell this website wanted to put Trump in here for some fair reason. The former president. He said it was indirectly involved in the series ending. So pretty much what happened is Ian Jones Quarterly, he's been around Cartoon Network for many years, he's done a lot of stuff, um, claiming that the former United States president, Donald Trump, uh, pretty much had an issue with CNN and stopped the merger from happening, would result in a lot of shows for Cartoon Network getting canceled because they were hoping for the merger to happen sooner, so that could have started the whole streaming service, which we got now is HBO Max. Um, so I now I think I stated a video a couple years ago talk about how KKO the cancellation and how other stuff. So I talked to my source. I called him because try to get some confirmations about this, like a little clarification. My source told me that this was one of the causes, but not the main cause for this. Um, what he says in the interview is true for certain shows, but his show was already on the chopping block due to the ratings. OKKO was not making any lighting the world on fire. He also states in this interview, if it would have came out at a different time, it probably would have done better. And it probably would have. It probably would have done better. I believe it's one of these shows um, that if came out um, now, it probably would survive on HBO Max. Um, it's because the narrative right now is shows like Thundercats Roar, shows like this, shows like all those shows they've done that were recently canceled. If they would have came out around this time, they would have survived. Thundercats Roar was going to get canceled regardless because my source told me that show, the backlash for it was so damn bad they didn't bother renewing the episodes. And HBO Max wasn't around at the time, so they couldn't really they were going to dump it on there, but they already knew that show wasn't going to bring in no eyes. I mean, literally, if HBO Max was a selling point with Thundercats Roar, they already would have lost some money. They said, let's get the show, let's buck it. Even HBO Max don't even want the show because they know how bad of a taste that show has. Um, but he states in here saying delays, and but that's common in the industry right now. To me, they're using this as a scapegoat, and the big YouTubers right now are running with it. Yeah, why this show got canceled? This the ratings sucked because it wasn't ranking in the top 10 sometimes. The show got canceled because it wasn't bringing in the same number as the Teen Titans Go. And this is where I defend Teen Titans. Teen Titans Go was bringing in numbers. This show was not. And I even did a review on it. Ratings on the show was not doing well, even when it first aired. The show was supposed to come out in 2014 or 2013, the same time Steven Universe were. Steven Universe got more popular. That's why they aired that show. And, Stuart Snyder saw something in that show that he didn't see in this show. And I think Stuart Snyder made the right choice because Steven Universe did a lot of things that this show I don't think would have done. And this show was catering to the boys. However, Steven Universe was catering to everybody. Everybody from boys, girls, and whatever flag whatever you support. Um, this is just another scapegoat, and they're trying to change the narrative, trying to say it's Trump's fault. This is why this show's canceled. This is why no. Um, and for these big YouTubers for the run with it is bullshit. Be realistic and say the show didn't do well because of the ratings. That did play a factor, but etc. etc. That's why I'm going off topic, but um, do I see this play a big factor? Perhaps, But let's be realistic here. If the show was good enough, they would have even canceled the show. If the show had enough buzz, they would have kept the show. I don't hear no bullshit because of Trump, and that's why they canceled the show. That's bullshit. They canceled the show because they had no faith in the show. They knew the ratings were dropping. That's why they canceled the show. They didn't want the show because if they would have kept the show, they would have moved it to HBO Max. They would have said this show was exclusively for HBO Max. Matter of fact, if they really had faith in you, they would have brought you back to do the show. Nobody wants your show. Point blank. Don't get me wrong. I love the city that crossover they did, but I'm being realistic here. They didn't want the show. They just didn't want the show. And for him to even come out and say that type of bullshit, saying, "Oh, it's Trump's fault," it's asinine. And for him to even go with that route, it's just asinine to me. And I think he should be ashamed of himself. And I expect a little bit more for Ian. But again, contract disputes, they can't really say anything negative about Cartoon Network, so they want to put the blame on Trump. Bullshit. Cartoon Network was the reason why you got canceled. Usually, the reason why you don't have your show now is because of Cartoon Network. The execs at the time, Miller and her goon squad, saw the numbers, and you didn't bring in the numbers, so they gave you enough time. Matter of fact, Trump was the main reason. If he wants to go that route, I want him to bring up why was the city era cartoon wasn't longer. He even stated that back then was they didn't give him enough episodes to finish his story arc in OKKO, so he decided just to make it only 11 minutes. Where Cartoon Network could have gave him extra time to do that and extra money if they had faith in the show. I don't hear that bullshit. If, like I said, all these other big people want to run with it, I'm not gonna run with it. That's all I'm saying. But as always, guys, like and subscribe. Peace. Have a Johnson day. Let me know down below what you guys think. You think he's telling the truth, or you think he's full of shit? I think he's telling partly the truth, but they can't really discuss too much stuff because non-disclosure agreements and all the other BS. It is what it is. As always, have a Johnson day.